so, hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Local Everywhere on the Houston Collective Radio. And today we have Bart Maloney of Lonesome Haunts or The Lonesome Haunts. I feel like I've mentioned this a few times already.
We don't even know the answer to that question.
Look at that. So it works both ways.
It works both ways.
Yeah. So you've probably seen him here on KPFT sessions. He was an acoustic set and future guest on Long River Sessions Ojibod Files. So yeah, Bart, welcome on to this other platform.
Thank you. I'm trying to get on all of yours.
Yeah, well, right on. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna be like, maybe after this one, you're like, all right, that's enough. You're being
No, I was thinking after the Ojimon thing, I was thinking if Messiah was not a homebody and I was not a homebody, I feel like me and you would be like such good friends.
Yes, I agree with
Really?
that.
Like that night, I was like, man, we would be the best of friends if me and him like each left our houses. But
well, you can always co-host these things with me.
I don't want to scare more people though.
No, man, that's like the Houston welcome. You gotta get a little shit talked to by Bart before you're welcome.
There is plenty of that, I promise.
Yeah. So holy shit. See, look, I'm starting it. Now it's all screwy. Is that your entire, I mean, I know that extends more. Is that your book collection?
It's some of it.
Some of it. Does it get bigger than that?
It does. I still have books in boxes.
And all of them red.
Not everyone. I do have like most of the ones behind me have been read. I do have like a working stack near my couch.
Holy, how many? So do you read several books at a time?
I'll usually read like 2 or 3 at a time. And I try to read like at least 50 pages every morning, like before I get the day going.
All from, okay. So then are you just alternating books each morning?
No. Well,
like,
I guess
how
like
are you doing 2 at a time? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask. Sorry.
Well, probably like usually like first thing in the morning, like I'll read like 50 pages from one book. And then throughout the day, I'll just kind of bounce between like that one and another one. And they're usually within like the same kind of like realm. Like I love most of these are like World War II history. But I've gotten really in the last couple years into Native American history. So I've been reading a bunch about that too. So they're usually within, like I'm not going to be reading just separate things that make like no sense. So
are these fictional or nonfiction?
It's all nonfiction.
Oh yeah, we would definitely.
Yeah, I love history, and I was an English major in college, and I do enjoy literature, but it's kind of boring. There are some things that I love, but I like reading about the human experience and life.
Yeah, no. All I read is nonfiction. All the other stuff is just, I don't know what it is, but well, I think I can definitely say what it is. The last nonfic or fictional book I read was Animal Farm. That room.
Did it?
Never again. Yeah. No, I've never read anything like that because what you're supposed to read 1984 and what's the other one? There's like another Brave New World.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and then I read Animal Farm. Oh, this is the least traumatizing one I've heard about, and then it messed me up. And I'm never reading these again. Stick to my knowledgeful books or whatever. Yeah. Dope. Yeah. No, dude, we nerded up. So, how long have you been in the music scene here? Because I feel like the more I get deeper and meet other people, they're, oh yeah, I know Bart, and I was like, how does this work?
It's so surprising for someone who's only 23 years old to have been around for so long.
Oh.
I played here in town before. I moved to Austin for college, and then when I moved back in '04, I just kind of hit the ground running. And that's like when I got back in '04. That's when I started playing with Glenn and Bare Knuckle Knockouts. And then I've just kind of been pretty rolling hard pretty since. But then in my 30s, I think at like 31 to 35, I kind of just stopped playing. I don't know why,
Okay, no,
but
no.
it was needed, so I'm super glad I did. And here I am, still doing it,
Oh,
or
so
back
so
doing it.
after your little hiatus, is that when Lonesome Hearts started?
Yes, that was in late 2018, I think it was, um, like
Yeah,
October.
that's great. And so, are these songs that's been like in the back of your head from like all your career, and then these come out this way, or
No, that's all been like just
all
they'll
original?
kind of hit me now, like back when I was with Nick Guyton and the Umbrella Man. Me and Nick would co-write a little. Like I'd, kind of pitch some things to him, and have I think a couple songs on the first record we put out. But I was, just so used to just being a sideman. I just played steel guitar, and that was cool. But like to be able to just like write exactly like what I want to play, what I want to hear, it's been awesome. So
Well,
all the ideas are 2018 ish
oh,
and
okay.
to now.
Sweet, sweet. So none of that old stuff is like creeping back, or because I've been hearing like people have songs that they've written, but they're all parts of it, and then eventually end up finishing it. That's been in the making for 10 years. So they found that melody. So it's all fresh and fit for you.
Yeah, because there's something like, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. So I feel like weird putting something out. 42-year-old me would be like, man, 32-year-old Bart's pretty immature. Like, what were you thinking of? Because I'll even go back and look at old lyrics I wrote, even from like around COVID. Because during COVID, I would go every morning to Herman Park and just sit in my car with my dog, and I called it Write Club, where I would just sit and write for hours because I nothing to do, and some of that stuff is so terrible, like it's embarrassing. Where I'm like, no one is ever gonna see this, read this. So I'm pretty critical on myself, but I can't imagine pulling something out from that long ago. I do have a notebook from when I was in sixth grade of my writing.
How was that?
I was like real heavy into just gotten into Hendrix and discovered Rancid. So it was like this weird mixture of like I wanted to be on acid, but like I loved punk rock too. So it's terrible. It is so embarrassing.
So it's like a cringe fact because I feel that way for some of the videos I make. I'm like, oh, I lost my access to that account. I can't like unlist it anymore, so it's out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Well,
so
because like I'm
mm,
a big believer that like, we should try to just every day, every month, every year, just be like a little bit better.
yeah.
So it's like if you go back and you see that stuff, from years ago, you're like, oh shit. Like I don't want anybody seeing that or hearing it. So I know that feeling.
So how many albums does Lonesome Haunts have?
We only have one full length and one EP. And so I
Is the
think we're gonna
EP the new one
no,
or the
the
other
EP was
way?
the first thing we ever put out. Yeah.
So do you listen to that
Um,
EP and you're like, or are you still because it's older stuff?
there's like maybe one song on there that is like it's actually like our most listened to song like online that I'm like we don't play it anymore, and I'm just like, oh, I could do without that. Um, and like we had put out a record a little while ago called "Songs That Didn't Make the Record," and it was early stuff and just things we didn't include on our full length. And I ended up pulling it off the internet because I was like, like it seemed like a good idea at the time. And even my sister, she texted me today and was like, what happened to that record? I can't find it on Apple Music. And I was like, I pulled that. It's gone. Like,
Done
so
forever. So,
yes.
so do you end up like throwing them, or do you like save them and then look at them and be like, "Ooh, that was cringe. I'm right better now."
I mean, I think they're always there,
Mm.
like it's like having, some weird experience, where you're like, I did do that shit, so
So it just
you
haunts you
can't
either
forget
way.
it, but I don't want anybody to bring it up. And Kevin, like the guitar player in our band, there's a couple of those songs where he's like, "We should do that," and I'm like, "Let's not. Let's just forget it."
And he's been in through the whole thing, or
No, he came in. I think it was maybe shortly before COVID hit.
okay. Oh, right, right. Okay, this is
Yeah,
coming back. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh man. So, was playing the steel guitar? Did you stop because it's a heavy beast? I've seen a couple of those, and I was like, I'd rather be a drummer.
It's like a combination of like because it's heavy and it sucks to carry around, and like you have to carry like your steel, a chair, and an amplifier. So that's three things there. Um, and I just like the magic was gone after I think I started playing steel when I was maybe 19 or 20. So like after nearly 20 years, once you have been making sausage in the sausage factory so long, you're like, I'm sick of this fucking sausage. So I
Okay.
just didn't want to do it anymore. But I still like I'll do it on our on our recordings. Like I played steel on the EP and the full length. So
And you still have that thing?
yeah,
Oh, sweet. I didn't even know. Yeah, every time I see Glenn or anything, it's like, man, he should get back on that. Nothing but old people playing the steel guitar. We need a younger guy.
I still have it, and I have two. One I'm actually sitting my laptop on right now.
It's a desk
Um,
for you now. That's how much you don't play.
yeah, and the other just collects books. So it's like when it's time to record, I'm like, okay, I got to scoot all this stuff off. But
So was that one of the first instruments you picked up, or was it always been like the string instruments?
I got my first electric guitar. I think I was 11 or something. And that was an adventure because I don't come from a musical instrument family. Like I come from a family that loves music, but I bought my first guitar at a pawn shop, and I didn't for like 6 months. I didn't even know you had to tune it.
Oh,
Because it's like 93 or so. So the internet was not around. You would get
mm.
like guitar magazines, and so I had this poster of Hendrix on my wall, and I would like turn every key head the same direction in the poster. And I'd try to play along like, to tablature, and it never sounded right. And I had no one to tell me, like, hey, like you need to tune it. And then I found in the back of a guitar magazine this thing called a tuner. And I was like, maybe I should get one of those. And so I started with guitar, and actually I have a cassette tape of me playing in it's either sixth or seventh grade. It's really embarrassing. Like my first amplifier was a karaoke machine. And
Oh
so I
yeah.
would plug my guitar into the karaoke machine, and then I had a microphone, and I would just blast music and play along and sing to it. And no one will ever hear that. I still have that, and it is bad, but it's cool to hear.
Just to remind
Um,
yourself, this is where I started.
well, because there was something, like about, like when you're young and you have nothing but time, like where you can obsess over like whatever art or, music, whatever it is, like that you want. Back then it was, music and skateboarding.
Yeah.
So if it was dark outside, I was probably inside. I was just obsessing, playing music, and so it's like it's neat to have that little, clip of it. Thank God it's not a video, but
I know, right? Yeah, I love not growing up during or these times. Oh my god, the
me
amount of
too.
because I feel like it's like a rites of passage, right? To do stupid shit growing up, and
100%.
yeah, unfortunately for now, everyone has a camera, so we're gonna see
Yeah.
your stupid shit forever.
Dodge that bullet. How old are you?
I'm 41.
Okay, so yeah, we're
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, dude, I'm so glad. And so now I can be like, nope, camera guy, I'm behind the camera, behind the camera. Don't shoot me.
So
Thank you.
true.
Well, now I know. Well, now it's like, oh, damn, in front of the camera. Oh. Well, one
Yeah.
time, we were out at Dan Electro's. Someone recognized Rico right away, and I was like, ooh, how's it feel? I bet it's awesome.
To be a
Yeah,
superstar.
yeah. Well, it was a trip. They like this dude was just talking to us like we knew each other, and I was like, all right, I'm just going with it. I don't want to be rude. All of a sudden, yeah,
Yeah.
let her know. I was like, oh jeez. Yeah. Is it all right? Sorry, I'm gonna throw this off because I'm flipped. I'm looking at you, but the camera says I'm looking away. Is that distracting, or am I just losing it?
No,
Okay.
I'm looking at a video of your face.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I was like, I'm not like constantly like I'm not trying to. But yeah, either way, yeah. Sorry. I've
Look
never
me in
did.
the
I'm
eye.
trying here, there. Well, good thing. Yeah, I still don't know what to do with these stupid videos. Only the audio. But anyways, have you? Do you still play with other bands now as like a fill-in? Because I feel like everyone is like in everybody else's band for a little bit.
No, not really. Like every so often, Nick Gaitan will call me to fill in, like playing lead guitar
Mm-hmm.
for something. And I know when he does that, all the good people have said that they can't make it. Um, when he gets down to me, it's like, okay. And I know it's just like Hail Mary. And I'm super happy because Nick's one of my best friends. Like, super happy to help him out. But like, he usually has like incredible guitar players. And like, he knows I won't play steel anymore. So he's like, will you come do guitar? And I'll do it. And it's, I wish him the best when I do it. But it's like, so not really. I don't want to really play with anybody.
Yeah. Well, it's
I have
leaving
no
your
interest in
house.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing out there for me.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, dude, and you live in like such a happening place. Like I want to oust you on, dox you,
it's okay.
but like you live in like such a happening place. So do you get to hear it, or is it at this point like tuned out, or are you still like, shut up?
uh, I can hear it like when there's music going on in the backyard.
Mm.
I don't hear anything at the Continental. I can sometimes hear stuff at the Big Top.
But since insulated, I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, there's something that kind of helps break it up. So it doesn't really, bug me. Most of the time, I have just like these noise canceling headphones on anyway.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Um, so I'm just kind of letting my ADHD riddled brain just do all that stuff. So
Hell yeah! And then do you ever
yeah,
just like go downstairs and be like, hey, yeah, I'm here now?
not really.
Yeah. Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
No way. Dude, super.
Even like what? Even when I go like walk my dog, because I usually do like his last walk of the night at like 8:30. I like look out the door and I like look left and right to see if I see anybody, and I'm like, let's go. Because like I will run into so many people, and sometimes it can take an hour just to get back to my place, and I love people, but I just want to go home.
Yeah. No,
Like,
so when you do get the app to go out, do you do like the Houdini like vanishing trick?
oh yeah, I,
Yeah.
I will, and I'm shocked that people still fall for this. I'll say something like, "Oh, I'm gonna go run do this real quick," or if like even say when we play a show, I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna go throw my stuff in the car. I'll be right back." I'm not coming back. But people, they look at me like, "Oh, cool, man. I'm gone." Like I am. I've thrown the smoke ball down and I'm out. Like my
Hell
band knows. They're like, "Oh, he's not coming back."
yeah.
But no, it's so rare for me to go out too. Like, the only thing I do regularly is like Friday nights. Pretty much every Friday I go eat Mexican food.
Yeah,
Um,
so it's still not like a raging bar or show. Because I know you say you don't drink, but just to be around the music scene. Yeah.
no, but like there's something about a Mexican restaurant. Like, because growing up, my mom would like take me and my sister on Fridays to kind of like wrap up the week, to go eat Mexican food. And so I feel like a Mexican restaurant as an adult now, it's like going to a bar. You hear the glasses like making noise, people are loud, but I'm just like I'm at the zoo. I'm just the spectator that's like, hey, can I get some more Sprite? Because like, and that's what's bad now. I go out after 7 and I want something with no caffeine. So like when I get home, I can fall asleep. It's terrible. I used to
Oh.
stay, up till the sun came up, just pounding Jack Daniels.
Mm.
Here
Yeah.
I am.
I would fall
Like,
asleep. I can't do that. I'm a Lone Star drinker now. 'Cause-
are you?
yeah. I got real sad not too long ago because I couldn't stand the taste of IPAs after a small break in not drinking. I had a yeah, I had an IPA and I was like, oh my, what's happening? This is disgusting. Why am I drinking that? Yeah, now I'm a Lone Star guy. But yeah, hey, you know what? It's all right. I feel like an adult. Uh, damn, I had a question too. Oh, so like, how? So do you stick around for the whole show when you guys play?
If if we put the show on, we do, or I do. I feel I don't want to say feel obligated, but it's like if I put everything together and got all the bands to come do it, then like yeah, I'm gonna stay. Like I want to watch everybody. I want to be supportive. But if we're not, if I didn't put the show together, there is a chance I will leave.
No, no, I mean,
Um,
well, I've been hearing like different sides of this story, but it's like, dude, I get supporting each other, but you'll get this. Sometimes I just want to go home.
and that's the thing.
Like, I just want to go
Like
home.
I wake up at 4 in the morning, every day.
Like even on your days off. Like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
100%.
oh, damn. Okay, fair.
So like when like 11 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, hey, I need to be in my bed, and I want to like be super supportive and stuff, but like I'm on this schedule that is probably not a normal 42-year-old schedule, but
How okay? How did the 4 o'clock thing start? Like, did you were you in the military and then it just never left, or like what's?
no, I like to joke that I haven't slept well since 9/11. Um, I was never in the military.
Well, I mean,
Um,
4 in the morning is like a crazy time.
but it's a good time though, because
Yeah.
it's like super quiet. No one's gonna call you. No one's gonna text you. And then I kind of made the mistake. I read something by that poet Rumi, um, maybe a year and a half ago, and it said if you wake up, like 3 or 4 in the morning, like said repeated, do not go back to sleep, do not go back to sleep, do not go back to sleep. That it's like it's the universe trying to talk to you, it's your ancestors trying to talk to you, and so like I am. That's supposedly like the most receptive time for us, like as humans, not to sound, like a crazy person. And I really believe that. Because I feel like, everything around us is calm and is quiet. Most everybody is sleeping at that hour. So I feel like our, receptors are a lot more active. Um, and so,
So when does like your day start after the 4 o'clock? Is it like are you solo till like 8 o'clock?
so like, I have my own little like appointment only barbershop.
Oh,
And
sweet.
the earliest I will take a haircut is usually about 6 in the morning. The earliest I offer on my site says 7:30. But it's, as long as it's not before 6, I'm down to get going.
And it's probably just like right around the corner.
Oh, it's like literally when I open my door, it's 13 steps from my apartment to where my shop is. So,
Dude, you got
um,
it made, and that was the most introverted answer about why 4 in the morning. And I was laughing because I was like, can't disagree to any of that. Can't disagree to any of that. Yeah,
it's
because
so true
yeah,
though.
and it's a
It's
different
peaceful.
kind of quiet. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's a little bit better than staying up to that time than waking up at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still a different kind of quiet. Yeah, I know. No, no. I definitely want to get back into. Now I just turned into a night owl.
Like I wish I could do both. I don't like to sleep. Like I want to just constantly be like, experiencing life. But like I do get tired, unfortunately. But there's something awesome about staying up late, because you do get eased into that, like the quiet, and there's something about that the nighttime that I love. But now my nighttime is the morning.
Well, hold
you
on,
know
hold on. I'm gonna have to call you out. You said you don't want to sleep so you could experience life. What are you gonna experience life from your house on in the internet, motherfucker? Like, are you gonna leave?
this is all traveling here. That's how you do it.
I'm gonna explore life from my house. I am not hating, dude. I would love to do that too.
That's what books are for,
Yeah.
like you get to live your life through someone else, and it's a great thing. I've gotten into meditation, which is odd. um,
Why
I've
would you call
never,
that odd? I'm not like talking shit about it. Curious. It is. It's
I've
another
just,
boring act.
well, because like I would always like joke with myself, like, oh, if I ever tried it, I'd fall asleep. And it's not that, like I've gotten so much out of it that I never, ever, ever expected I would. And it's awesome. And like, I want to tell more people about it, but I know, a lot of like the Western mindset is like, that's crazy, man. Why would you do that?
Yeah, do you carry rocks
Um,
in your pocket too?
yeah. But there's like something to it, and like every so often I'll meet somebody that's like, yeah, like I meditate. And, then you just have these like cool discussions, about that. I'm like odd with like, I believe in past lives and,
No, I'm with you. So, what's the average meditation do you do, or what's the longest have you done? I've done an hour,
long as
long time ago though.
I have never made it to an hour. I'll usually make it somewhere between like 45 and like 50 minutes. But there's something about that 20-minute mark where like something different happens. And then I feel like, maybe around 40 minutes, it's the same thing. And I've had people tell me, like, man, once you get to an hour, it's like your body feels different. And like, I've never done it. So
So what happens around the 45, 50 minute mark where you're like, okay, this is too quiet now, or like this concentration
I,
break?
I think it's being a product of living in 2025. Like, there's some part of me that's like, I wonder if my phone went off. I wonder if somebody needs to get a hold of me, And so, like, I will break out of it to check my phone. It's terrible,
No, no,
you
no.
know?
Well, it is definitely weird, and it's hard to explain too. And I definitely need to get back into it because I feel like when I was in Oakland, I was doing all of this, but now in Texas, not doing any of it other than work. But
Yeah,
no, no, no. Like anytime I hear anyone talk about me, what's your experience?
yeah. Well, I think too, like, there is like a really weird, like, just work, 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 work mentality in Houston. Where there's just like people constantly hustling, and just constantly doing stuff. So like, and I feel like that wears off on you to where if you're not aware that like you've just gotten into that cycle, then you can, like lose sight of like that time to just sit and, be reflective or, um, and that's why staying home, that's like the one way I can do it.
Stay home and do. But when I get into the zone, I guess that could be like type of walking meditation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, what do they? Damn, they call that. I don't know. There's a term for it where you get into the zone or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But so do you read like Eastern philosophy books too back there, or is it just mainly World War II history?
It's mainly World War II history, and then the new Native American history.
Yeah.
No, I've read a little. I think the first thing that probably got me into it was like the white person's version, the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance,
That's one
like
thing
in
I've never read.
college.
No, no, no.
And then I read, was it the Tao Te Ching in college? But for the most part, no. I don't know why.
No, no, it's totally cool. So, speaking of meditation, so the Zen people, they believe in, I think, what is it, instant enlightenment, right? So they do these
Yeah,
silly things where it confuses you so much that your mind goes blank, and then that's how you
really.
kickstart the meditation. I mean, I could be full of shit, but it
Yeah.
makes sense. They're called like Zen koans, and it's
Okay.
always like silly stories where you're just like, what? And then you're zoned out. No, no, and there's a lot of silly stuff. I think if you enjoy reading, and a lot of it's not super boring philosophy stuff, but
Yeah.
it's like silly stories Zen Buddhist monks did, staying in their
Okay.
temple and not talking any.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely fits. It's the hermit lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Meditate long enough and no, no, that's dope. So do you when you meditate, are you trying to keep the brain quiet, or are you thinking? I mean, I guess that kind of defeats the purpose of meditation. But yeah, yeah, like what's your process? I don't know.
I just will, I guess it's like stare at like my third eye
Okay.
and just focus on that, and then like kind of whatever comes into my brain. I'm just kind of like on kind of like a water slide or something, where it's just kind of I don't know where it's going. And what's weird though is like it's there have been times I don't know if you know about like astral projection.
Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah.
So like there's been times where it's like that's happened, and it's the weirdest thing. And so like, I think there is some like part of me that is scared to meditate for too long because it's like, what if you cross over, man? You can't get back.
Yeah, you're still messed up. No, well, that's definitely a scary thing because I don't think I've ever done it, but I do have lucid dreaming where you can like control your dreams or something like that.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen often, but I'm
yeah,
terrified of that too because I never know when I'm lucid dreaming, and it's usually in the middle of a fall,
yeah.
and I'm like,
That's the worst.
ah, wait, why is things slowing down?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's the weirdest thing. No, so when you almost or when you astral projected, were you able to pick where to go, or were you like, hey, why am I down there?
So I always get stuck in this like it looks like I'm on the moon because I can see just like nothing but stars above me. And it's this kind of like long, kind of like wide hallway, but it's like it's open. There's no roof. And I see people or like these things on the side, but it scares me to keep walking forward. And I know like from what I've read, you're supposed to just keep going, and like
They're not going to
supposedly
follow you.
those they can't get you.
Okay.
And like once you get through that, but I'm scared to go through that. I'm like,
So what does that look like? I mean, I know you said you haven't been, but I've never. Yeah, it's cool to hear your meditation process because mine was boring. I just tried to breathe
yeah,
and just imagine the beach, and I just get stuck
yeah.
there. I could, and then
But
all the
that's good though. It's
uh,
probably peaceful.
it was, but I mean, I, but I think the effects where you're getting and I got is still the same. I think the pathway is a little different. I think that would have been cool to do, not just sit at a beach doing nothing for an hour. I want to be scared in a hallway.
Not
Like,
me.
yeah, no, well,
Not
maybe
me.
not. So, is it always that?
Every time it's happened, it
Ooh,
is, and I
that's
can't get past that. And I have a friend who, like she, says that she can communicate, with the dead and people that have not passed on or that are stuck here. And when I told her about that, she's like, "Oh yeah, like that. You just have to go through it. Like nothing can get you." And I'm like, "It's easy for you to say
yeah. Have you been
because like
there? No.
I, yeah, like I don't know if you know about like have you ever heard about shadow people?"
Oh yeah, of course.
So that's what it feels like. It's like this hallway that's lined with shadow people. I'm like, I'm not. I'm not gonna go past the shadow people. I can walk away from them.
So then, when
So
you walk away, do you get back to this world? I guess.
yeah, everything just kind of like fizzles out,
Mm.
and then I'm just back to like meditating and like focusing on my
Yeah.
third eye.
No, no, no. That's a so. Is that like how you naturally started, or did you read up and then that's how you got that?
I got into astral projection before I ever even started to meditate.
Hmm.
I bought a book on it.
Dope.
And
No, man.
that's
Hey, I have a dark corner of my bookcase too, where it's all just like, what is it? Reading
because I
through.
mean that's stuff's interesting, and I
Yeah.
think like the neat thing about books is they're written by somebody who is like obsessed with something enough to write a book. Which is like it's a lengthy process. It's not like getting on Reddit and some guy's like, well, actually,
TLDR.
like
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't want that. Like I want somebody who's like kind of, manic or, like an obsessive, like in some way where they're like, I have devoted my life or like, these 5 years of my life to this craziness. Because like if you were writing a book on astral projections, do you think like your friends would be like, he's kind of lost his shit?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. No.
so like they're committed.
Yeah.
So like that's what I think is cool about books, it's like there's a commitment that comes with, somebody writing them.
So do you? Was it just the one book, or did you follow more books to other books, get weirder, and then all of a sudden you're reading books about the ancient mystery schools in Egypt, where they're
I know I've only had that one book. Um, I did just start a new book though on past lives, which is super interesting.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because big believer in that. And just like one quick thing that hit me like a year ago, like I feel like every naive person that like you, me, whatever we meet, that this is like their first go round. And that like the old souls you meet, this is like two, three, four, whatever, however many times. Because I swear, like sometimes I'll meet somebody who's naive and it's like, is this your first fucking time? Like how did you fall for that? Or like, what? But I do, think that like this is not I don't think this is the end. I don't fear death because of my belief in that. So
So past live stuff. So does that mean you're a believer of reincarnation, or everyone goes upstairs or downstairs?
and reincarnation.
Yeah. Have you heard about the
Yeah.
story about the Dalai Lama?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome how they find them. Now,
Yeah.
the nerdy thing that I'll go. Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon?
I've not.
I don't know if you're a cartoon watcher. I know that that's a weird thing to say, but dude, their explanation for reincarnation is awesome. Like
Really.
it's a Nickelodeon cartoon. Yes, it's for
Yeah.
kids, but man, the philosophies that go into it is such a trip. In addition to like all the martial arts they use, they are actual martial arts.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what got me, and I was like, oh yeah, Asian cartoon. I'm down to watch, and it's like all philosophy, really cool stuff. Yeah, give
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and like how they find that the avatar is exactly how they find Dalai Lama. They like throw a bunch of toys and like pick three.
Really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, dude, I like all my first major was Eastern philosophy, balls deep,
Yeah.
meditating, vibrations, man. I didn't carry rocks, but I was doing a lot of.
Well, no one's gonna check your pocket, so it's okay
No, no,
if
it's
you did.
just spiders and stuff. No, and dude, and going. Have you been to any like these Buddhist temples out here?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can Google it; they all look the same, but they do have a different feeling. And I've never meditated in.
Yeah.
So, have you meditated outside of your place, or is it just mainly in your house and then just like deck, or do you go to the woods out here?
I've only done it like in my apartment. Because I'm pretty new to it, It's like I'm roughly a year into meditating.
Oh, that's longer than most, dude. And hit
Oh,
hit
it's
top in almost an hour, dude. Hell yeah.
well, it's been a slow process to get there, it hasn't been easy. Because I feel it's like one of those things like working out, where you're like, I don't know, like I realize I'm doing something, but like I don't see results or whatever. And then like, you give it like a month or 2 or 3 months and you're like, wait, like one, like I'm not getting like I'm a lot less aggressive because like I love confrontation. Like you give me the opportunity, sign me up for that shit. I thrive off of it. Um and it like meditation has like calmed me down in that where I'm like just very less like reactionary with stuff. And it's cool, like in a way it's like, hey, where did you go? But I also know like I don't need to be that person. I mean, also like my car horn taught me patience too, because it'll sometimes get stuck. So like, the longer a horn goes, like the more mad whoever's getting honked at gets. So
Oh
like
yeah.
when I'm driving, I'm like, ugh, if I have to hit it. So, but yeah, it's like it took a while for me to get into like believing that meditation was a thing, and or at least a thing that worked for me.
No, no,
Um,
that's dope, dude. Yeah, no, meditation is such a and it's so expansive, or I don't know if expansive. It's like for doing nothing. There's a lot that can be said about it.
it's crazy,
Yeah.
like there's so much more to it than like nothing. But while it is kind of nothing, like
So how'd you get into it again? Were you just like, I'm just gonna try this?
I had one of my buddies. He's done it for years, and we were talking about this writer Neville Goddard, who's like I wouldn't say he's like into. I guess he's kind of is like a manifestation guy, but he's like from I think he died in the 50s or something or the 40s. And so I would hear my buddy talk about that, and I was like, so I read Neville Goddard, and I was like, oh, this is super cool, and it's like a lot of just like like with the mindset of like I am, um, which I guess does can fall into Christianity, which I'm not. I'm a cultural Catholic. Um,
A cultural cow. I was like, okay, I got it now.
New pope, new pope. Um, it was not the Filipino guy, unfortunately.
I know. It's the guy from Chicago.
Which I'm torn, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it was getting into that somehow made me like stop and think because like my buddy kept talking about how awesome meditation was, and he's a guy I used to play with years ago, and I was like, man, well, if Scott's really into it, like maybe I should give it a whirl. Because I feel like he used to kind of be like me, where he was like not aggro, but like never back down from anything,
Mm.
And I was like, man, Scott kind of seems like he's mellowed out a little. That's kind of cool. So that's kind of what spawned it for me.
Oh, so she had to calm the beast. Huh? Right. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, and it's such a trip. I had no idea you were an aggressive dude. Because I mean,
Oh,
really, yeah,
I got some stories. Yeah, like it's
let's hear the contrast now. Oh my god, dude, I would have never freaking guessed because you're such a nice guy, and I've known you or I've met you the first time before the year, right?
yeah.
And you've always been nice. I mean, I guess I'm not trying to be an asshole to you.
And that's the thing. Like, as long as people are have been nice to me, I'm going to be super nice. But like, the second like somebody is disrespectful, not like in some like prison way, but like if you're an asshole to somebody, like I'm going to call you out on it, and that can just be elevated. And I've always been a big believer in like standing up for people. So you can say shit to somebody else, and I'm going to be like, "Fuck you, say to them," like I will interject myself into stuff. And so, yeah, no, I used to love it. Every so often, I get like a little bit, like I got into it with the UPS driver yesterday because he was blocking the fucking sidewalk. Fucking lost it on him. And it's just, but it's like I'm not going to do anything, but it's just like, what the fuck you blocking the fucking sidewalk? And it just turned into this fucking screaming match.
Oh
like,
shit.
uh,
Well, so because I feel like meditation to a certain point can dissipate that rage, but I feel like it's still real close by. Is that like the same for you?
yes, to where like I just like in those like situations, I have to stop and think, like that that's not the path to go down, or like don't even think like in a negative way, like just don't let that get you, because I feel like in some way it's like, there's all these things out there just trying to like drag you fucking down, and if you let things like that do it, then like you're kind of getting away from like where you were in like a meditative state. Uh,
Mm.
So like something like that can happen, and I'm just like, man, today is such a great day. Like
you just gotta tell yourself that. Walk away.
well, it's like I come to the conclusion I think I'm just gaslighting myself. Like,
Well,
everything is fucking fine.
yeah, well, it works most of the time. I get it. Well, I don't know, man. So because sometimes when I let it out, obviously, I'm not beating anyone up, but like just letting that anger out for like a little bit, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, all right. I didn't know if you're like, no more anger. Like I definitely like both sides of that duality of man. I guess.
Yeah.
Like no, meditation only makes it easier to hold back, but ultimately, if I was like, let's go, it's still there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, no, dude. And so, like, was your goal to control it or get rid of it? Or just like see what happens?
Like with meditation?
Yeah, with like the or like the confrontation loving side of.
I don't think like it was really even a goal of mine to like really address. Like I just saw that like that friend of mine kind of calmed down, but like I didn't want to be less confrontational because it's like those are those like little bits of like I love like thinking quick, so like if I can get into even just like a verbal thing with somebody, like I'm gonna win, like if because I feel like my dad, he would always be, like just always everybody you meet, like try to find their weakness. And if you get into it with them, you just go after their weakness, So it's like there's something about confrontation where it's like it lets me do that. So like I didn't want to get away from that. Like I want to stay mentally sharp and talking shit to people. uh, but it's just kind of been this like side effect because I would notice when I would get mad at like, somebody out on the street over here, like seeing a homeless dude like taking a shit right outside the building.
Oh wow,
You're
what's
just like,
happening there now?
it's been a while. It keeps the rent down though, so like you can't get too mad.
Well, if you need more,
Um,
no, I wouldn't poop. Never mind. Anyways, please continue. Yeah, no. So, is these? Are you a scrapper too? Are you out there like not picking fights, but like ending fights, or it's just more like, hey, calm down, bully the bully kind of deal.
it's been a long time since I've been in a fight, so I'm cool with that.
No,
It's
no.
probably now at 42, I'm kind of scared. I'm like, what if a fucking 22-year-old tries to start a fight with me? Like, I'm a smoker. Like,
No way, man. Just learn jujitsu and put them in a chokehold, and it'll be quick, and you don't have to exert too much energy.
yeah, but that requires I don't know
Leaving the
doing something.
house.
I'd rather just pop
Oh,
pop real quick and
damn, dude. Oh, I'm so glad. So were you like more aggressive when you were playing with Glenn back in those days,
no.
or is this like
I think
a 30s era kind of deal?
no. I think like in that era with Glenn, though, I was just like the youngest person. I think Glenn might be younger than me. I don't know. We might be around the same age. But I felt like everyone else in the band was like 10 years older than me. And so like I didn't want to be like some liability where they would like want to kick me out of the band. Like I couldn't, go wilding and shit, you know.
Okay.
Um, but I think too, like it's like when I talked to you like on the, back in December, about like how like, going to shows, it's like it's a fist fight. It's like it's that same mentality. And I think, now that's just more of how like I focus that, to where like the confrontation is getting on stage and, instead of like putting fingers, in somebody's chest, you know.
Wait, so confrontation of getting on the stage, does that mean you like you get nervous every time you get on the stage? Oh,
No, it's
oh,
just that same thing. Like I love that
oh,
feeling,
got it.
of
Okay,
like
got it.
it's exciting,
Yeah.
just like getting into a fight or something, like there's that it's like it's so different than like your just day-to-day life. It's like when you get on stage, it's just like, holy shit, I was just out in the parking lot smoking a cigarette. Now like I'm on stage, I'm like I have to sing in front of people, which is weird. The fact that I'm 42 and I'm still playing in a band, that's kind of fucking weird. Like the fact that I won't give it up, that's kind of fucking weird. So like in my eyes, it kind of takes some balls to like not be a 25-year-old. Like I got a band. It's like I'm 8 years from 50 and I'm still doing this. Like
Hey man, what's that?
so
What's that other band that's? I always get surprised every time they go. As Mick Jagger, Rolling
Rolling
Stones.
Stones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Every time I'm like, what? How? And they're still out there as much energy as possible, which is like
Yeah.
going and like and so when you well speaking of, I can't believe we just like rambled on about meditation forever. I love that though, man. Like hearing just like internal journeys, and not just on like hallucinogens or whatever, but like
Yeah, well, it's like I think that like there's like we are all like like essentially like coal miners in some way, or like we're digging for gold, but we're all like mining in our head, and like you have to do that too progressive as a person in life. So I think that comes with meditation and all that kind of stuff, to where like if you can't just sit with your own thoughts, be it by yourself at home or like, meditating, you're not gonna like, keep getting better or whatever.
No, no, I'm with that. Or at least solitude.
Yeah.
Love the company of my. I can if I had a week off and I didn't have to leave the house.
It's on there like during COVID, I remember there was one day I made it till 3 something in the afternoon without speaking a word. And I was just like, oh my God, like I haven't said a word today. So cool, because
Yeah.
like I got a dog and like he just follows me. So I don't have to be like, come on, let's go. He's just like, okay, we're just doing this.
So was
So
your
yeah,
first
it's great
first
to just
word your 2 year dog?
no, my mom called me
Oh.
and I was like, I just realized, like you're the first person I've spoken anything to today. So it's
As terrible as it was,
oh, sign me. I would do it right now. It was so cool because like I feel like adults, we have not had spring break. Like if you went to college, you got spring break in college, high school, whatever. You don't get it when you like after college.
Mm-mm.
Like
No.
we got spring break with
Bro,
COVID.
yeah.
Like
How long was that? I can't even remember.
I want to say it was like 2, 3, maybe 4 months where it was just like that weird. Everything's like I don't know. I don't know. Am I going to die going to the grocery store? And
But everybody ordered Uber Eats, and we were worried about them killing. But
I've never ordered Uber Eats. I did not
really,
do that. No.
no, dude.
I even go pick up my own pizzas if I order them.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, but you can just walk there. Get out of here,
Well,
right?
I could, but
Oh,
that's
okay.
that's usually not my go-to pizza place.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah, no, dude, and yeah, I loved it so much. I mean, honestly, none of this we would not even be here if it wasn't for COVID, because that's when like Long River Sessions started on COVID.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a handful of
because
people
I
that was
feel like
weird.
I feel like it gave like a lot of people like time to stop and like catch their breath and like kind of think like, what am I doing? Like, what can I do? What do I want to do? And that's I feel like just that American mindset is just like work, 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 work till you retire. Just keep fucking going. And like we actually got a break from it, and I think it was great.
Did you make sourdough too?
I did not. I got on a kick where I was just buying a different jar of like red salsa every couple days to figure out which one I like best on breakfast tacos. That was my thing.
What was your verdict then? I need to know.
There's an HEB Selects one called what is it? Taqueria lime, roasted
Mm.
taqueria lime. That it tastes like like the little containers you get. Like if you get like a bag of tacos at a taqueria, the
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah,
plastic
yeah, yeah, yeah,
container.
yeah.
Like it tastes like you got 15 little containers in there, and 3 of them spilled all over your fucking tacos, and it's for a canned salsa. It's killer. I
Yeah.
love it.
You still do?
Uh,
Still do? I was like, are you still doing
Still
any?
do.
Oh, no. Oh. Well, well, yeah. Plug us, please. I know you said you have. I was thinking of like, do you have to open the door for them?
It's been about 5 minutes. I do.
Okay. Are they out there waiting for you?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, here, real quick. I was just like, wait, what time is it? All right. Yeah. When are you playing? The usual stuff, man. We're gonna flood the airwaves with where people can find you.
The next show we have will be today that you are listening to this, May 23rd. Heights Theater, we're opening up for Lucero out of Memphis, Tennessee. So super looking forward to that. And then the next one is May 30th out in Beaumont, Texas. And I think after that, it's June 20th down at the Continental. Down at the Big Top.
That
Uh,
same place.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Same place, different door.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't think I've even been to the other side. I've seen people go in the back part, and I was like, what is that? That's the other place. I don't want to.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
It's an all. It used to originally was a toy store.
Oh, dope.
Like when this building is from 1926, I believe. I could be wrong on that. 1924, 25, or 26. And so when that opened down there, it was originally a toy store. So there's still some of the original like paintings on the wall from back when it was a toy store.
Dope.
Um, it's totally worth dropping by sometime.
And so that whole building is from the 1924, is that, or just the toy store?
No, this whole building. So
Oh,
upstairs used to be the Houston Business College. So if you ever come up here, it's like all these rooms used to be classrooms,
oh shit.
um, which is super cool. And like you can kind of see because there'll be like windows. I don't know if you can see here. There's like
I don't know why
windows,
I'm over. Like I could see it around the corner. Yeah,
oh,
okay, dope.
and so that would be like those were windows, and you could go into the next classroom. This is the door into the next
Oh,
classroom. Um, and then the Continental was originally a pharmacy.
that's such
I,
a trip.
I can't think of the guy's name. And so it's been a handful of different things over the years.
Does it ever get spooky there because it's such an old building?
I've
Yeah.
seen stuff.
Oh man, why you got to start this when you got to open the door for your bed? Like, oh my
Really
god,
have.
like, dope.
I'll be more than happy to talk to you about that another time. Like
Yeah,
I've seen some wild stuff up here. So
really spooky stuff.
I really have.
I bet that's why you're going to that hallway. I didn't mean to. Sorry, the hallway. They're watching. It's all the people that you're seeing in there.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
The ones that have not crossed over.
Yeah. See now I would be scared too. Now that I know your old ass building, you've seen stuff, and a fucking hallway with no ceiling. With you could see features, or is it just like
No,
anime
it's
style
like this
dark
weird,
figure?
just like it's like the shapes of the things are just like a little bit lighter than the darkness, but you see like movement, and it's like this weird, like you can see outlines of stuff. It's creepy.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. And everyone's like, oh, they can't get you. Like,
No, I'm not gonna figure this out. Like,
oh man. Well, I mean, I guess either way, if it's like a bright office hallway and it's just like I looking through like the cracks of the door, I'd
that'd
be
be
freaked
just as
out. Yeah,
scary.
yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Hundred
oh,
percent.
oh. All right, all right, here. Well, dude, Bart, this was definitely a fun conversation. And
Yeah, anytime.
when we leave the house, we should definitely talk about ghosts, or unless you want to come back here and bullshit some more.
You let me know. Either way, I'm down for it.
Awesome, dude. Well, the badass episode of Local Everywhere today. Local is Houston because this is the Houston Collective Radio. That was Bart. I'm Saya. Signing out.